Welcome to Talent on Tap. My name is Brendan Brown. I head up recruiting at LinkedIn. I am here at Afrotech in Oakland, California, and I am excited to welcome Rachel Williams to the show. She is the head of talent strategy at X, the Moonshot Factory. Welcome, Rachel.
Thanks for having me.
Talk to us a little bit about your journey into X and how you started to think differently.
X is a place of scientists, researchers, people who think radically different because we're trying to solve really big global problems. And one of the ways we do that is by asking a lot of questions. I had never been in an environment where asking questions was a regular part of business. In meetings, in the hallway, didn't matter, questions. And now I realize that the questions actually get you to radical and innovative solutions. And so I've started to think that way when it comes to talent acquisition.
And so what does that mean in terms of having the answer?
It's not the answer that you're rewarded for at X. It is the questions that you ask, because if you already have the answer, then you're probably not thinking big enough. Mm-hmm. That means someone's probably already done it, or you read it somewhere, or you heard it somewhere. Your first answer probably isn't the one we're gonna go with. And so it was a little startling at first to be asked questions about talent and how we're gonna find people and how we're gonna train people and how we're gonna move people through the process. But then I started to think, these questions are actually leading to bigger solutions, and we're gonna start experimenting with things.
I've surely been in those situations where someone's questioning and I get defensive.
Initially, I was offended, taken aback. I definitely wanted to tell people to go mind their business. Like, don't you have a full-time job? Like, this is my area, domain, I got it.
Plenty of people that will probably watch this who are like, yeah, I remember those hiring managers who wanted to take over my job.
For sure. I mean, if you claim to be an innovative company or an innovative team, then you need to invite in differing perspectives. Yeah. So bringing in someone from marketing, bringing in someone from the engineering team who think totally differently and applying their training to talent acquisition could only 10x what you're doing. Engineers know how to find other engineers. Yep. I can't claim to know exactly how to do it.
How does that shift how a recruiter may spend time? If all of a sudden it's like, all right, I will lean in, I will sort of be open to this collaboration at scale.
Imagine that you unleashed 100,000 employees to know exactly how to find talent for you. That will free the recruiting team up from having to sift through maybe resumes that come through that aren't the exact right fit. Yep. People are empowered at X to do this. And so it's a wonderful and good thing, because now the talent acquisition team is freed up to think bigger about how do we find the diverse talent that's out there? How do we reach folks that are in other countries that we may want to tap into?
Why do you think people haven't done that, like in recruiting?
Job security.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you're the only person that can do that thing for that company, yay, kudos for you. Yeah. But I think getting over the fear that there isn't enough work available will unleash you to allow people to bring their best thinking to your particular area, and then free you up to go and do other things anymore.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine me? We can actually really focus. I mean, really on focus. That priority. Yeah. After you and I spoke, actually, I talked to my manager. I'm like, I don't know if we do enough long-term thinking.
Yeah.
But maybe drop a few gems on that, because I found that very inspiring.
X has really encouraged me, just through how we talk about some of the things that we're working on, to think 5, 10, 15 years out. If we are trying to solve really huge global problems, water insecurity, food insecurity, things like that, the problem isn't here yet, it is future forward, and so we're building things that haven't been built, and so we need to be thinking long term. And when you start thinking that way about talent acquisition versus just how we're gonna get through 2020, then you can really start to put into place programs that are sustainable, and then you also start to release your attachment to having employees help you with talent spotting, because you're thinking, oh, this person may not be great today, maybe this person will be great in 5 years.
What about things people could start doing today? Maybe someone who's been sort of a creature of habit in the world of TA for the past many years that now need to shift gears.
I think I'm going to be crowdsourcing. So I would say that ask questions. I don't know if too many talent acquisition teams actually go, we're going to hold a focus group on what you think about talent acquisition. Yeah. And if you could redesign the whole thing, throw the whole thing out and start over, how would you do that? And I know that's a scary thought and a scary question.
It'd be scary for a lot of people.
Yeah. Right? Because you don't want to signal to your employees or to your colleagues that maybe something's wrong with talent acquisition, or maybe we're not doing something right. But I think you would signal to your employees that you're open to hearing any new ideas because you want to stay in the business of being innovative.
What about things to watch out for?
Bias is something that I worry about, and I know that having a process helps mitigate bias, but I also feel like there's this tension between over-process and creativity, trying to find the right balance because I don't want to over-engineer talent acquisition for sure.
Well, I think you're in a position, and you've started to share best practices on how to think this way, which I think is so important for talent acquisition. I mean, everyone's trying to figure out, like, what does the future of talent acquisition look like? Is it going to be automated or this or that? And I think it's about creativity, innovation, your ability to get people to move in a certain direction.
Yeah, 10xing your team.
I mean,
you got 100 recruiters, like you could have 100,000 recruiters. Think about that. So.
Yeah, one hire each. I mean, you made enough hires for probably the next 10 years for your company. Yeah, so, well, thank you for being here. This has been super informative, and thanks for taking time out of your visit to Afrotech to sit down and talk TA with us. And for everyone who's watching, I know I have learned a ton in this conversation. Big things for all of us to think about in TA. One, don't forget and surely realize that you can 10x your recruiting organization today via your employees. Do not think that we have to have the answers and hold on to things tightly. We need to let go and collaborate at scale. And what's more is you don't have to have the answer, but you do need to have the question. And it's those questions that you can ask that are going to lead to innovation and impact and get you the type of career that you want in talent acquisition. So we're talking future. Thank you for being with us on Talent on Tap, and we'll see you next time.